Check, check, check. Audio check. Okay. We can get this thing to work here. This is Oliver. It's 3:15 p.m. We are looking at June 24th, 2025. This right here, I haven't really been following the weather as closely as I used to. And it's because there's so many great talented people. And Ryan Hall is total professional. He's actually literally came from the Weather Channel, young guy, but smashing YouTube success. Ryan Hall, y'all, but there's a whole bunch of guys. He brought it up. He said something. He goes, "Oh, there's atmospheric river. I'm worried about New Mexico." And I thought, New Mexico? So let me take a look. So I bounced over here onto tropical tidbits and zeroed in on here. So we're looking at, this is New Mexico. And you can see this is accumulated precipitation. So you can see the whole state, and this is coming up. You can see it's coming up from the south, from Mexico, which from what I understand, and little do I understand about it, but I do know a little bit that I heard, it's from a hurricane that is either breaking up. I don't even remember the name of the hurricane. I should have looked that up, but so you can see right here, this dark purple, this is Western Texas. That's total rain accumulation. And you could see that is now up in 7, pushing 8, 9, 10 inches of rain. Now that's accumulative, right? So, and they're going way up into July. So we bring this back to current time here. And so there's tomorrow. So apparently there's already been flooding. I'll show you a couple of links. It's already started in an area, and it's ironic because I was looking at the map. I jumped on over. So anyway, this is Tropical Tidbits. That's what's going on, but you kind of need a little more in depth. So let me see if this YouTube and my computer will allow me to click over. So I'm just trying to take a look. Okay, so here we go. Very, very slow Google Maps. You see this little town here, and I can pull out a little bit more. My computer or YouTube or both don't like when I use Google Maps. They don't like when I flip around on different links. But to give you a better feel of how Mescalero. This is beautiful mountains. It's really kind of funny because Grandma Bernice, she had some property. I never saw it. 9 kids, 9 sons and daughters. Nobody ever went down there. Everyone thought it was just in the desert. It looks like it's on the river. And she passed away. And I think they joked about nobody wanted it and they just sold it and cashed out. And my God, I wish that I had a voice and I would have had money because I would have mountains and Rudeso. So there's fires there. Or there, if you can see this, I hope it's showing. It'll let you, because sometimes it's not saying that I got to click on anything else. So this is the Mescalero Apache. It's kind of interesting because you have the Hopi in Arizona, which I love the Apache land, and the Sierra Blanca, Guadalupe Mountains, the Three Sisters Mountain. They apparently have a casino. The Apaches are probably doing very well. The white painted woman is probably very, very pleased because they've got the casino going. Everybody's probably eating well. Now, I'm just guessing there could be tribal corruption like we saw. Unfortunately, that happens. We've seen that here in Oregon in a couple of spots. I hate to call people out, but the Warm Springs had a series of corruption and issues with their casino at Canita. I used to go up to Canita Hot Springs as a kid. It goes all the way back. Then it closed because of money and missing money and whatever, right? So it gets messy. But there was something here I wanted to read. It's kind of interesting. Just the whole Apache. I've got a bunch of Grandma Bernice. Nobody ever talked about it, and they wanted to keep it hidden. But It's really crazy. It's fundamental Christians were really strange generation. They're probably still strange now, right? Oh, come on. We love the Christians. I mean, you could call me a Christian. In the Apache way of life, there's a belief that a dark side of life is present, as well as a light side. In the dark side of life, there is misery and nothing progresses for the Apache. Here in the light of life, here in the light of life, there is happiness, a world God created of peace and harmony. In this world of peace and harmony, everything progresses for our people. This is their website. Our tribal enterprises, including Inn of the Mountain Gods, Resort and Casino. I've got to go there. And there's a ski Apache. They got skiing. It's not just desert in New Mexico, just like it's not just desert in Arizona in that northwest corner, which I love, Flagstaff in that area, are the industries that provide for our people. So they're openly admitting that's exactly where they're getting their cash, and they're probably doing quite well with the casino, I would hope, if the books are right. These enterprises also contribute to the economy of the surrounding areas of the Southwest. Therefore, we ask our friends and visitors to respect our Apache way of life. Now, this is what struck me the most. Snakes on their website. Snakes. Do not enter the reservation with snakes or any product made of snake skin or any part of the animal. Read it again. The Apache do not communicate with this animal. It is considered a bad omen to have contact with a snake. Now, if you remember, or if you recall, or if you don't know, the Hopi did a rain dance where they would chop the heads off the snakes. And I've done a couple of paintings with them dancing with this Hopi snake dance. So they not only didn't like snakes, or maybe, I don't know, I don't want to speak for that, but maybe it was a sacrifice of their friend to the rain gods. I don't know exactly how that works, but here they're saying specifically, if you have rattlesnake boots, you'll be shot on sight with a bow and arrow. No. And then it says bears. The bear is an animal of the Apache. Do not have contact with this because bears are highly respected. Never touch a bear. You ever seen these videos fairly recently of people holding cubs in their hands for selfies? I think that was near Yellowstone Park. It's, my God, people. I mean, you give tourists a really bad name picking up bear cubs. It's a good way to get mauled by a mama bear. You never fuck with cubs, ever. The mama bears are the most dangerous. They're more dangerous than the male cubs because of those cubs, or the big bear. And then down here, owls. So now they're going to hit the owls. I am an owl guy. I love owls. I am connected with the owls. They hate the owls too, almost as much as the snakes. The owl is a night creature, and the Apache people do not have contact with this animal. Avoid having a night owl near you. It's considered a bad omen if an owl hoots near you day or night. So if you hear a hoot owl in New Mexico, run for cover. Your days are limited. That owl god is coming down to scoop your ass up. Anyway, sure enough, Ryan Hall knew exactly what he was talking about, and the radar he was looking at, little more high tech than that tropical tidbits that we just saw with the purple. But if you see purple in the desert, that means monsoons. It could mean monsoon, but this is actually an atmospheric monsoon. My words, not theirs. Atmospheric monsoon, like the atmospheric rivers that hit us on the West Coast. This is coming actually from this cluster that was a hurricane at one point before it cut up through Mexico. And by the way, we're just not getting the media and the press. This is flooding Mexico up along this path as well. And by the way, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, you have heard the owl and you have a snake wallet. This rain is coming to sweep across the United States, up through the Midwest, Chicago, over days, not just tonight. You got a couple of days, get your shit together and pray to God. All the way through, and it looks like even the East Coast. This rain is no joke. This is monsoon rains that's going to create all kinds of issues, if not obvious flooding that's already happened. And I thought, I wonder if there's going to be flooding. Well, Dude, you're a day late. They actually have it. Showers and storms are moving through the state this afternoon. This is leading to an extreme risk of burn scar flash flooding around the Hermit's Peak, Calf Canyon, and Ruidoso. Ruidoso is what we just took a look at there. I've spent like the last half hour walking the streets through there with these maps, which is pretty cool when you click on ground view. It's like being there. I mean, it really feels a lot like remote viewing. If you can imagine being able to see things like that from a screen in front of you and you're not there, but you feel like you're there. That is a lot like remote viewing. So, and then here's floodwaters traps drivers. So this was yesterday. And you got Cade Hall here. This is the Reduso fire chief. I don't know if you can hear this. I can't even hear it here. Fire from arsons and stuff. I'm sure I heard about it. It leaves big scars. So it's all mud. It's vulnerable. There's no vegetation. The roots is what holds that stuff into the ground. So that means the mud comes down or can come down, or the flooding because there's nothing to suck up that rain. So you include that in addition to monsoon rains from an abandoned hurricane. My God, it's an abandoned hurricane, a broken up hurricane, which it's clearly been abandoned. Column, especially in this area around this Apache reservation, and that's where this Rudeso is. It doesn't look like Western New Mexico is going to get hit hard, but Western Texas, without me looking it up. So this is through the weekend. So it looks like this is not going away anywhere. And then on this particular map, this GFS here, total accumulation, it keeps clicking July 2nd, July 3rd, July 4th, all the way in through the holiday weekend. It doesn't stop. It just keeps raining. So, which came from this, as I'm repeating myself, broken up hurricane. So that's the crisis that I have. I hope all that came through. If not, oh well. If so, then peace out. My computer's acting a little slow.